Hello, hello, hello. Dr. Alan Harper here, your Secure Vibe Coder. And we're in for another live Secure Vibe Coding session here tonight. Thank you for joining me. We are building this app called User Vibes OS, and it's live right now at this URL, uservibesos.ai. And the purpose of this app is to allow developers a one-stop shop so that they can collect feedback from their users. All right, we've been focusing on the feedback panel down here, and eventually we'll get to the others. And we already have a working app. We've been doing this about 35 hours now, over about 26 sessions. And we already have a functioning app that's already better than the competitors out there. All right, we're still polishing a little bit, and you can go out and play with it right now, okay? And so we're going to go ahead and get started here tonight. Explain to you just a little bit how it works. There's a JavaScript plugin that the developer will install on their end. They will get that on the dashboard. They will set up an API key, and then they can set up their own boards, like feedback boards, and then it will connect to these JavaScript front end. We use Convex on the back end to keep track of everything and keep it all in one spot in a database. And we love Convex. It's a real-time database. It allows us to keep track of everything and keeps it all in sync really nicely. All right, give me 1 second. I just noticed I need to log in here to get my chat up. There it is. Okay. All right. Hey, if you've joined us, drop me a chat. Tell me you're here. I'd appreciate it. Okay. I'm just making sure. There we go. All right. So this is our app, and this is what it looks like and how it works. We have two forms of API authentication. We call it Tier 1, and that uses a public key. Then we have Tier 2 that uses a secret key, and what the developer does is they take that secret key and they generate a JWT, a Java Web Token. We got that up and working yesterday, and that works really well. And we were able to test that we allowed the developer we show them how to create with a script their own JWT just for a test, and then they can test it on our back end. So all that works really well, and really pleased with how that came out. All right, so here's our long to-do list that we've been working ever since the beginning. And we've done about 3 months worth of work here in about 30 hours. And that's amazing if you think about it. You know, so we're getting more than a 10x output on this thing. That's because we're using AI to do the coding. Now, what makes us different is we do secure vibe coding. All right, you can learn about vibe coding in many places, but they won't talk about security because they don't know it. And unfortunately, there's a lot that can go wrong with security with AI coding these days, but therein lies the opportunity. What I'm trying to do is train an army of secure vibe coders so that we can make the world a better place, one app at a time. Protect our users, protect our businesses, protect our way of life. Because it does you no good to build an app and then it gets hacked, right? So who am I? Dr. Alan Harper. I've been doing cybersecurity for more than 36 years now. I learned it in the Marine Corps. I've written 7 best-selling books on the topic. You can just Google me up and you'll find all about me. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. It's streaming across the bottom, X and Twitter, you know, all those different places. But anyway, yeah, I've been doing cyber since before they called it cyber. And now I'm here to help in this new area of AI secure vibe coding. So come along. If you're interested, check me out in that QR code above. I see somebody just scanned it. I appreciate that. And you can also check me out in the link below. And what you'll find there is my free mentoring group. And inside that free mentoring group, I'm dropping value every day. And then you will also see within there a secure vibe coding masterclass. And in that masterclass, we go in much greater depth than we can do here on the live streams. And it's at your pace, right? And there's homework assignments and stuff in there and exercises and such, and a support group around that. And you get more access to me if you sign up for that secure vibe coding masterclass. All right, but let's go ahead and continue. So again, if you joined just a little bit late, we're building this app called User Vibes OS. It's already live, and you can go to it right now, uservibesos.ai. You can sign in. Eventually, we'll have a credit card on it and all, but there's no need right now for that. You can come on in. You can set up an API key. You can set up a feedback board, and then you can start. You see the instructions in there of how you can install it, for example, as a developer. Now, presumably, everybody watching this is either a developer or wants to be a developer, maybe a secure vibe coder yourself. And so you could use an app like this. You could use, what we're building, and that's kind of why I'm building it. I could have built a game or anything out there, but I wanted to build a tool that would be useful for the community, right? For the secure vibe coders. And so everything that we do is with security in mind. I built all of this on what's called a secure vibe coding OS, which I've created out on GitHub. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, where's it at? I cleared my cache recently and lost all my shortcuts and everything on GitHub. Let me log in and get that up because I want to show you guys. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, let me drag this down so you can see it. If you go out on GitHub, you will find this repo. If I can get it down here. Okay, here we go. So you'll find this repo out on GitHub, Secure Vibe Coding OS, and you'll find I forked it from another guy's project that was pretty good, but then I added all the security batteries. So I added all of this stuff right here that makes it secure. Okay, the heart of it. And so the key thing that I've done is added all these security skills under the Claude folder. So we use Claude Code for our tooling. And inside of the skills folder, there's some 30 security skills that I've given you. All right. And basically they're nested within these folders. And this makes like Claude Code even smarter when it comes to security. So every time we type in a prompt, it's running through these skills to say, hey, do I know something about that? Oh, yeah, I do. And then it invokes that security. So we get a lot of benefit from that. We get a lot of uplift from just the generic use of Claude Code. All right. We love Claude Code. It's a great tool. Again, if you've joined us tonight, drop me a hello. Tell me you're here. I see numbers out there, but I haven't seen anybody chatting yet. I just want to hang out with you guys, have a conversation, but also show you how to do this and how easy it is to do secure vibe coding, right? All right, so once again, we're building this app called User Vibes OS, and it collects vibes from the user throughout the user journey lifecycle. But we've been focusing on the feedback module here, and that is complete. Okay, so that's our minimal viable product, and we will be going to market here soon, okay? I'm gonna be taking next week off. In fact, this will be the last stream until I return. Next Sunday night, I will return and we will pick this back up. I'm going on a cruise, so I'll be out out of touch, offline. Okay. So again, here's the checklist, and we are right now going to capture the feature list that we've already created, and we're going to tell Claude Code to put that on our homepage so that others know all the nice things that we've done. All right. And we haven't done that yet. So we haven't really updated our homepage in a while. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let me quit talking. So drop into our Claude Code here. We use Claude Code inside of Anti-Gravity, but don't get too wrapped up on that. I switch IDEs all the time, almost like I switch socks. I'm always in a different IDE, even sometimes throughout the week. I'll be switching daily sometimes, just because I want to always be on the latest and greatest tools. But one thing has remained pretty constant for me. The heart of my tool chain is Claude Code. It is by far the most consistent and most accurate and cost-effective tool. I spend $200 a month on my Claude Code license. You do not have to do that. In fact, if you're just starting out, probably the $20 or $50 plan will do for you. but I burn through a lot of tokens. I burn through like 1.5 billion tokens a month because of the projects I'm working on. I've got 3 or 4 live at any given time, so that's why. But anyway, yeah, I use Claude Code here within Anti-Gravity. Let's go ahead and drop into the Claude instance and tell it what to do. Okay, I want to update our homepage with all of the great features that we've been putting in here, such as moderation of comments and the security functionality and the ability to test JWT tokens and all of those things. I want to build a list of those features. So first, I want you to give me the list, and then I want to review it, and then I'll tell you what to do with it. Okay, so we'll let Claude Code cook on that. Once again, if you've joined us, drop me a hello. Tell me you're up and that you're online, and tell me where you're from. Okay. All right, so here's the list of features that it came up with. Let's just take a look at it. Core widget features. Okay, I like that. It might be a little long, but maybe we'll start with this a bit and then pare it down. Okay, security features, tier 1, public key. Yeah, it's probably just a bit much for features on a homepage. Okay, that's a good list. That's a great list of features, but I want you to pare it down some, simplify, summarize somewhat, and let's get the list to be about half that size. Now you notice how I talk to the AI. I use a tool called Super Whisper. There's another one called WhisperFlow. There's several ways you can do it depending on the operating system you're on and the tools that you have. But I really like that because I can talk a lot faster than I can type. I can talk at the speed of thought. Okay, here's the condensed list. Widget features, okay, voting system, comments, okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay, there we go. See how it combined the security, the 2-tier security model? Okay, yep, I like that. Admin and moderation, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I don't want to add the clerk part here. Multi-project support, subscription billing. Nah. Okay, that's great, but you can drop the platform section. Now what I want to do is I want to move this list to the bottom of the homepage. I want to have a features section, and I want to highlight like in a table that shows these features down the left side. And then I want to show the free and the pro plan that we have outlined on our homepage. And I want to show what features are available in each. All of the features will be available in the pro plan. And for now, what I want you to do is distinguish between the free and the pro plan with one additional row or 2 additional rows at the top. I want you to put feature boards and put 1 on the free plan and unlimited on the pro plan. And then I want you to put feature request / bug reports. And I want you to put 10 for each. So make that 2 different rows on the free and then unlimited on the pro. Go ahead and just do that. Okay, so that's a pretty healthy prompt, okay? But you'll notice that, like, I don't have to give it a whole lot of context. Like, if we were using other tools, we would say, okay, you're a software developer and I want you to, act like a developer and blah, blah, blah. We don't have to do that because, it has the context of all of our code. It knows exactly what we're trying to do here. I just have to direct it, right? So you could think of this like a really good junior programmer that works for you, but it's actually better than you if you're, a vibe coder. Probably if you've never coded before, this thing is, I guarantee you, better than you. In fact, it's better than me, and I've been coding most of my life, like 40 plus years. Okay. So if it's better than me, it's better than you. You can trust it, but you do need to, you need to verify what it's doing, and you need to be aware of what it's doing so that you can correct it. Like, so in other words, you just look at the outputs, and if they're not the way you want them, then you tell it otherwise. And then we do a lot of security testing here, and we've done that in previous sessions, and we fixed a lot of security issues already. You can go back and catch those in previous videos. But we don't have too much of that because we're, again, building on the Secure Vibe Code OS, and it handles all of that, most of it for us. We just have to keep an eye on it and make sure that we don't screw it up by doing something that's insecure. But a lot of times we can just ask the AI itself to run a security assessment. And I've given you also a set of agents that are in the Secure Vibe Code OS, and they will run that security assessment for you. And we'll do that again, maybe like when I return, just for giggles. It's already locked down, and we fixed all the previous security issues. So I'm reasonably sure. Sure that this site is already in the top 1 to 3% or 5% of websites out there in terms of security. Now, it'll never be 100% secure. And like, if like a nation state wants to come after your app, like, they're going to get in because they have tricks and tools and what we call 0 days that you can't defend against. Like, they know of things that, like, we don't know, and the developers don't know, and the vendors of these products don't know. And if they hit you, then it's checkmate. But most people are not going to be attacked by them. And what we want to do is keep 98% of them out, and the rest of them will just go and pick on someone else. So that's the truth about cybersecurity. Run from anyone who tells you that they can guarantee a secure system. I certainly would never do that. I have a PhD in this topic. I can assure you there is no such thing as a 100% secure system. But what we can do is we can harden it to make it sufficiently secure so that the bad guys go somewhere else. All right, that's what we do. Okay. Hey, who's out there with me tonight? Somebody drop me a hello. It's getting awful lonely in here. Okay. Okay. All right, so it says it did it. Let's go check it out. Okay, here's our actual local. So now you have to keep in mind, we have a local instance now, and we have a production instance. We did that a couple days ago. So so I'm messing always with the local development system, and I'll do all my testing there. And then what we'll do is we'll push it up to production. So always keep that in mind. You can always see at the top here, I'm on localhost, okay? All right, so this way I can't mess up my main site. So let's go look at the actual homepage. And what we should see here is some new language here at the bottom. Okay, yeah, here we go. That's exactly what we asked it to do. Everything you need, all the features, including both plans. Scale with unlimited usage on Pro. Perfect. Perfect. Now, as we add more functionality, like we may distinguish more between the free and the pro, but look at that. Now, what I want to do, now that we've said that on the homepage, let's make it real on the back end. Now watch this, guys. Okay, hey, that's wonderful. I really appreciate that. That homepage looks great. Now I want you to, in terms of those first 3 lines of the limitations of the free plan versus the pro plan, I want you to actually implement that now in the code. So for our free users, they should only get 1 board, up to 10 features requests, and 10 bug reports. Okay, and if they're in the pro plan, then it should be unlimited. So go ahead and implement that. Okay, so that's vibe coding right there. So we just told it what to do. It's going to go off and do it. All right. and then we verify it. You always want to be verifying your stuff. So what we would do is, like, make sure we're in the free plan, and we try to add more than 10 feature requests, and it should stop us. If it doesn't, then that's a problem, right? What I'll do is I'll tell it next to create a script to issue or to create those 10 feature requests, because I'm lazy and I want the AI to do the work here. Okay. So you'll get to see that too. So that's a pro tip for you. Hey, who's here with me tonight? Anybody that's joined, drop me a hello. Doesn't cost you anything. Come out of the shadows. Would the real humans please stand up? Sometimes I wonder if there's bots out there just watching me. So if you're not a bot, say hello. This is a pulse check. It's funny. As we go forward, we're going to have to do more and more of that. Okay. I'm rolling here with vibe coding. We do secure vibe coding. That's what makes us different. All right. Again, you can learn about vibe coding on many channels, but they won't do it securely. I promise you. I've looked at all those channels. I don't think they know how. So that's what we're here for. All right. If you want to learn more about it, check out my free mentoring up in the QR code, link in description. You could join up to my free mentoring group, and inside of there, I'm dropping value daily. We have a support group in there. We have a 30-day challenge that you can get started on, all for free. You can also find out about my secure vibe coding masterclass inside of the classroom there. And if you sign up for that, then you get more access to me and you learn even more of this stuff and can move faster. Okay. Okay, so it's putting in the plan limits right now, which is like a variable so it can keep track. Excuse me. All right, who's out there with me tonight? Getting awful lonely over here. Somebody drop me a hello. I'm wondering if I got nothing but bots here tonight. Okay. You can see it built a little checklist down here, and it's working on it. So it's adding a feature request count limit check in the submit feature request mutation, which is just a fancy way of saying the code that goes to the database. So again, we are vibe coders. We didn't write any of this code, but there's a ton of it. In fact, let me just, somewhere here, we have a script that will tell us how many lines of code we have. Count LOC. So I'm gonna pop up another shell and another instance of Claude and tell it to give us a line count. Anybody want to guess how many lines of code we got? Drop it in the chat here. Been doing this about 30 hours. Okay, so how many lines of code do you think we have? Run the count loc.sh in scripts folder to determine lines of code. See, I can type pretty fast, but not as fast as I can speak. I wonder if we're going to need to type in the future. Makes you go, If AI can write all this stuff and can write code and can write letters and write emails, eventually we'll just speak to it and maybe have our brain chip or something in, that Elon's working on, and just think it, and it'll just happen, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that. Maybe some biblical implications about that. Okay. There we go. Bam. 37,000 lines of code. That's almost 1,000 per hour because we've been at this about 35 hours. So that's a little more than 1,000 lines of code an hour that Claude Code has been writing for us. Think about that. No human in the world could write even probably 100 lines of code in an hour and get it right. 1,000 lines of code an hour. That's why I say we're getting 10 times, 10x, maybe even more productivity, especially when you factor in all the debugging and stuff that we've saved. Humans spend a lot of time debugging, developers do, but AI can do it better than we can. It hasn't let us down yet. Amazing. Okay, so it's finishing up here. It's running its type check. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a good assignment. I'm going to say, okay, now write me a script and test these, the free plan. Okay. 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 If the user tries to do more, it says right here, free plan is limited to one project. Okay, please upgrade to Pro for unlimited usage. Okay, wonderful. All right. This project has reached the maximum of 10 feature requests on the free plan. The project owner needs to upgrade, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, now let's figure out a way to test this. Okay, figure out a way now to write a test script and test this. I want to see if I can add more than 10 feature requests. I'm not sure though how we can create a user that is in the free plan. Figure that out, put them in the database if you have to. Just manually write that test user into the database, and then figure out a way to test all of this for me, because I don't want to manually enter those. Okay. AI is pretty good at writing test scripts. There are many types of test scripts, by the way. And for the formal programmers out there, I'm not talking about unit tests and those different things. I'm just talking about like a bash script that it's going to run through a loop and like create these tickets, right? And so that we don't have to do it. So let's just see what it comes up with. This will be an interesting experiment. I mean, honestly, I probably could just go out there and by the time it'll finish it and just add them. But, you know, like I said, I'm feeling lazy tonight. So let's see what it does. All right, who's joined us out here? Anybody out there? I don't know if my chat's working tonight, guys. Somebody drop me a note. See if I can pull up the stream here and check. Actually, honestly, don't know how to get in there. Let's see, YouTube. Okay, let's see if I can mute that and see if I can come into his thing without screwing it up. Okay, yeah, I'm in here. All right, we got 2 thumbs ups, but I don't see anybody chatting yet. Let me drop myself a note. I just want to make sure my chat's working, guys. Open the panel. Join the conversation to interact with the creator and other watchers this live stream. Okay. All right. I managed to drop myself a chat real quick. So let me see if that shows up on the inside here. Yep. Something's off with my chat tonight. I'm going to try not to get distracted. Okay. It looks like I can't see the chat tonight, guys. I'll have to work on that later. I have no idea why. Let me try to leave this chat and come in back in. Okay. All right. No big deal. Oh, there's one. Okay. 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 All right, I'm back. Focus. Okay. It looks like it wrote this script. Now let's see it tested. I'll be surprised if it works the first time. Okay, it's running. Let me go to hit Control O and see what the output of that thing is. Current counts. Blocking status is blocked. Okay. Wow. All right. All right, so we ran a test. Basically, it's calling the APIs directly, and it's filling the project with 10 feature requests. It filled it, and then it tried to add another one. It says blocking status blocked. All tests passed. That is cool. Now, what we'll do is, let's see here. Let's see where those went. Let me go back into the dashboard. Yeah, they look like they're in here. No, those aren't the... Where did those go? Let's go inside the database and look. Okay, that's the production database. Let's go to the development. And by the way, it may have put it out in the production, but I sort of doubt it. No. Okay, going back into the database here. Feature request. Here they are. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay. Let's see. However, yeah, here we are today, and there's only 10 of them. Okay. All right, guys. I think I trust it. Okay. And one other thing I want to do is I want to check the script myself and just see how many users it tried to give it. Oh, okay. Looks like it's only trying 10 requests. Okay. Looks like it's updating the. Okay. It's still working. Try to give it more than 10 requests and see what happens. Actually, hold on a second. I don't like what I'm seeing here. This thing is lying to us. If this is the script that it's running, it's doing nothing but just echoing stuff to the screen. Then what is all this other stuff that it's doing here? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, it's not using that shell script. It's actually okay. It's actually making the raw calls to convex. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. So right here, it's trying 15 of them. Okay, we'll see what it. Let me go into Control O again and see what it did. Okay, you can run these tests anytime by doing this, or you can put like a number in, and what it's doing here is showing us that all worked. Okay, so right here, let me hit Control O. And that just basically expands the output. And what we can see here is, all right, so look, here's the indexes. So here's the first one. 1 is true. 2, true, 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 all the way down through to 10, true. 11 went false, okay? Then it gave the reason. Okay, all right. This thing works, guys. It works. All right, so just like that, we implemented it. We had an idea of how, just off the cuff, I decided how to split out the free users from the pro users. And then I told it to put that on the homepage first, okay? And then now we have it matched on the back end. How cool is that? All that in like 30 minutes. See what I'm saying? It's mind-blowing, guys. And half of that was me talking, right? It was probably like more like 15 minutes of action. Just crazy impressive. That's what it is. It's crazy. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is we see, let me just, okay. Okay. Wait a second. Oh, it's already got the 10 in there, so it won't add any more. Okay, because these are actual feature requests. It's only going to ever give us 10. Okay, so this was 4 minutes ago when we ran that test again. Okay, cool. All right, I'm digging it. All right, that is awesome. All right, let's see what else we want to do here tonight. Let's knock that list off. Okay, so we captured our feature list and we added that to the homepage. Okay, we updated the homepage. We didn't update with new images yet. I'm going to leave that till when we return. Okay, then what we're also going to do when I return is we're going to, like, in next Sunday, so in 7 days when I return, what we're going to do is find where the users hang out, like our developers, and we're going to start adding value there. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a portal view so that the developers can actually have their own static pages of these that they can maybe just hyperlink into if that's what they want to do. It's kind of like an easier version of, so they don't have to embed the widget. Okay, so that's just like a new feature that we're going to add when I come back. We're also going to add the ability to send emails. We're going to use this tool called Resend. Okay, so stay tuned for all that. Make sure that you subscribe and like so that the algorithm gives me love and pushes this to other people. In the meantime, I'm feeling energetic. Let's go for this one right here. I want to check that we're doing the npm build because right now we're doing just the JavaScript. Okay, so I want to make sure that the npm build is working and I want to test it. What I typically do is come back in here, hit Control O again, and come out of that output mode. And I say, okay, that testing looks good, and I validated it in the database. It all looks good. Thank you. Now what I want to do is switch topics. I want to, like, for the widget to be installed on the test site, we've been using just a simple JavaScript, embedded JavaScript download. I want to also ensure that our npm build works. As per our embed instructions, the user can also use an npm install. So help me, first of all, recompile the npm install. It's been a while. You should find those settings inside of the project. And then make sure that the instructions match how they can actually install that. And if I need to host that, like on a public npm, help me do that so that all of that works. Okay, now while it's thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and push this to updated homepage and free pro functions. I'm going to push that up to our GitHub so that goes into our live production site. Okay, but the other purpose in doing that is I want a clean slate here. That's a pro tip. Anytime you're going to do something new and significant, you want a clean slate. Okay, so that if it goes south, we can always just revert it. Okay, simply with a few clicks. If you don't remember to do that, you're going to get yourself in a jam to where you're going to have like days worth of stuff, and then you're going to want to revert it, and you're going to lose all that work for days. Okay, so again, that's a pro tip. That's, believe me, I've learned that lesson the hard way. So make sure you don't make that mistake. And once again, guys, if you're out there, drop me a chat. Tell me hello. Awful lonely in here, guys. Okay. All right, so we're vibe coding, guys. It's doing all the work for us. Okay, it sees right here that there are two packages, a React widget and a web component, and it's going to go ahead and do both of those. Okay, it's building it. What it does is it goes into that folder and then it runs this npm run build. Now what this is doing, it's kind of giving it like a zip. You could think of it as a zip. It's more than that. But it gives the developer a zip that they can download and install very easily instead of just using raw JavaScript. For various reasons, some companies prefer, or some developers prefer to use npm. And so we want to make that easy for them. Okay, so now it's asking for my permission. Okay, so let me see what it's trying to do here. Both packages have been built successfully, and the widget was copied into the public assets folder. All right, it should have already been there. Okay, now let me check if you're logged into npm and verify the package set up for publishing. Okay, so what it's doing is it's running. Okay, it's gonna run this npm command. I'll say, yeah, you can do that. Okay, it knows I'm logged in now. If it was not logged in, it would have sent me a URL, and I click on the URL and I go log in. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's going to push this up, this package. Okay, it's checking the package list right now, and then it's going to ultimately push it up. It's verifying that they can be published first. Okay, so All right, package not published yet. Okay, here we go. This it already did the other one. Here's the React widget. It did the web component first. Okay, are not published. Okay, they're not published. Okay, and there's a notice about the access token being expired. Ah, and what's interesting about that is I saw the other day that my GitHub token may have expired. And so that could be a problem. Okay, let's see how we work through that. We always have a challenge. Every night there's something, but that's why we're learning, right? I'm learning, but you guys are learning as well, right alongside me. And what I want you to recognize is like, we don't have to be afraid. Like, we have AI here. We have the smartest developer on the planet at our fingertips. So we just gotta, have confidence and ask it, hey, what does this mean? And help me do that. Help me understand this and that. And it will. Okay, it's still doing its thing. I think it's going to make me fix that that actual token, which I'm happy to do. It's just going to have to tell me how to do it. Okay. Okay, it says you're going to need to create a user vibes organization. It's actually, I want to use user vibes OS. If it's not already created, then re-authenticate and then publish the packages. Okay, so hold on a second here. Note the widget. Okay, it gave me the instructions here, but I want to make sure that we use user vibes OS. I want to make sure that we're using user vibes OS. That's user vibes plural OS. I added an S into this project. So make sure that we're being consistent on that. A couple weeks ago, I've only been at this 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. A couple weeks ago, we changed the name of the project from User Vibe OS to User Vibes OS because we're getting many vibes back from the user, right? So it's like a plural thing. So I think it makes more sense. But that's caused me some naming issues. I've had to go through and fix that in various places. Okay. Okay, so it's going and adding that S, that extra S everywhere. Good. Okay, now what it's doing, it's going through and changing a whole bunch more than I had bargained for, but that's okay. It needed to be done eventually anyway. So I'm cleaning up all these old naming like folders and API routes and different things like that. So that's okay. It's good at that stuff, so I trust it. And after all, if it breaks it all, I can just revert this stuff over here and skip it and go back to the way it was. So you see the red up here is what is they're deleting, and the green is what it's adding. So notice it's adding an S there, an S there, and so forth. Let's go on and change in a whole bunch of places that we probably should have done before. That's good. And we're going to have to test this pretty thoroughly because it's touching a lot of stuff. So we're going to need to go out and play with the website and test it. So imagine as a human, if you had to go through and change, make all those updates, it would be a mess. Now you can search and replace to a certain regard, but you got to be very careful because you might, delete something or break something if you do that and you miss something. So it's much better at that kind of stuff than we are. Okay, now it's recompiling it, making sure everything compiles. That'll catch a lot of errors. Like if it screwed up something and something wasn't named properly, this TypeScript check will catch a lot of that. Okay. All right, now what I need to do is npm login, create this user vibes OS organization, and then publish it. Okay, so let's try it. npm login. Okay, so here's the link right here. Classic tokens expired. Granular tokens now limit to 90 days with two-factor enforced by default. Okay, update your workflows. Okay, so let's go ahead and command. Okay, do you want to open up an external website? Yes. Okay, it opened up here. That's okay. I'll go ahead and log in. And it's sending me a one-time password. So I'm going to put that in. It's emailing me a one-time password, essentially. Okay. There it is. One-time password. Put that in. Okay, now it says I can go to the home page. Okay, I'm in there. Okay, now. Okay, I'm logged in. So now what I want to do is I have to add an organization. Okay, I'm going to bring this down so you guys can see it now. Okay, but first I want to get the instructions again. Okay, so create this organization right here. Okay. Okay, and I can hit this. Okay, the name can't have that, so I can do that. Create. Okay, username or email. Invite some interesting people. I don't have to do that right now. Skip this for now. Okay, so I have an organization here called User Vibes OS. There's no packages in it yet. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll run this command right here, npm publish access public in each package directory. Okay, I'm going to tell it to do that. Okay, I have created, I have done the npm login. I've also done the User Vibes OS organization. Now I want you to go ahead and publish it from each directory for me. Just like that, guys. Easy peasy. Okay, so it's going to go into each of these directories and run this command. Say yes, go ahead and do that. Okay, yes, do this. It's pushing version 1.0.0 up there, and each time we push it, it's going to increment that. Now what should happen is anybody in the planet can do this right here, npm install, and they can use our organization and that web component. How cool is that? So it's hosted up in the cloud now. So if something happens to me or whatever, like this thing will always be up there. That is pretty cool. Okay, so now if I refresh here, I see 2 packages here, and they were just published a couple seconds ago. So that, my friends, is how you publish to npm. Okay, now we have one more thing we want to do. In a few minutes we have remaining. We say, okay, that looks great. In fact, it's awesome. Now what I want you to do is install that in our test site, and instead of using the JavaScript install, I want you to go ahead and add that as an npm package, and go ahead and install that on the homepage. Again, replacing the current call to the embed widget. Okay, so right here I'm gonna put npm real quick and hit and push that up. Okay, it's asking where the test site's at. The test site is in the test-site directory. There it is. So we've got just a little bit of code in here. It's just a little Next.js app, and so this should be easy for it to figure out. So it's acting like the developer. It's acting like one of our customers, essentially. Okay, it says I see the SDK. Okay, it's going to use the npm package and provide a custom element that works via iframe. Okay, here it goes. It's going to install. Right here, it's going to install that web component. Say yes. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up finding an error of some sort, but we'll see here. Okay, it's finding out if it's tier 1 or tier 2 security. I think it's going to figure out that it's in tier 2 security. Okay. Yep, it's using the JWT. That's right. Okay. Good. Okay, the site already has JWT set up. Yes. Okay. I want you to just keep all that. This is what I'm telling you guys. Claude Code is great. Now, every time I say that, we end up in a series of issues. So we'll see. Don't let me down, Claude Code. Okay. Okay, so it added this user vibes widget up here and got rid of this old one down here. Okay, it's run into a little error here, but it'll figure it out. Okay, it's asking me how Claude Code's doing. I said, get out of here. I hit 0. Okay, so here's the changes it made. It installed that package, it updated this page, removed the old JavaScript SDK with the script tag, that's correct. It now imports it as a web component. Okay, and now it uses that widget. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Let's see what it did. It says we can start we don't have to restart it. It's already running. Okay, let's check it out. Just a nick of time. We're right at the hour. Let's see if this works, guys. Nope. No, wait a second. Okay, should be a test site here. Yeah, here we go. Hold on a second. The widget is now loaded via npm package, and there it is. However, it's not seeing our entire list, so something is off. Let's see what this error was. Okay, we got that error. Let's go ahead and report that to Claude Code, and then tell it that the list it loaded, but it's empty. Close. Okay, we're close here. I could tell that the widget is loading, but it's empty, and I also got this error. I hope the fact that it's empty is because we got this error. We'll find out here in a second. The issue is that the web component is trying, I couldn't read it in time. It's trying to extend this component on the server side during SSR, but that element only exists in the browser. I need to make the import dynamic. Yeah, why didn't you do that to begin with? Okay. Yep, the error's gone. Okay, but the widget is empty. Now, why could that be? I wonder. Okay, that works, but the widget is empty, and it used to show I have 16 feature requests in it. So check how we're calling it. Any kind of any IDs that we're using maybe are mismatching. We should be using the instructions that were on the embed page, so we shouldn't have to give it a lot of instruction other than the project ID or slug or name. Okay. While it's doing that, I'm going to cheat and go look here and see this actual file in our test site. It's just a page right here. And if you want, AI can explain this to you, but it's very basic. And here's the page right here. Here's that phrase that said the widget is now loaded via this package. And here's how we're calling it right here. Project, my first project. I think that's the problem right there, this my first project. But let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it's trying to do something here. Hold on a second. Now, wait a second. This was working before you made changes. So the proxy has to, not a proxy, but the generator of the JWT has to already be in place. Again, that's not a proxy. So follow the embed instructions, and there is a backend embed instruction that shows how to generate the JWT token. I know we were doing that properly because, again, this was working, and I wouldn't be able to see the widget if this were not working properly. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Now they've been criticized. Anthropic's been criticized by always saying you're right or you're absolutely right, and people just have turned that into memes because it does that all the time, and they've actually been criticized for that. So they're starting to remove that. But apparently, it's still there. Once again, I want you to look at the code before we made these changes. That script was working and the iframe was loading. The only thing we should have had to change was no longer use the script. Everything else should have stayed the same. So go back and look at that and revert all those changes back to the simple implementation. It's using Git now. That's why we used a clean slate so it could very easily see. I cursed it, guys. A few minutes ago, I said it was such an amazing tool, right? And I told you every time I've done that, we end up then with 10, 15 minutes of drama. No, we are trying to, yeah, go ahead and update the NPM package to match the working implementation and rebuild it. Yeah, I seen what it was trying to do. I actually stopped it and then I read it and said, yeah, that's actually correct. So it's noticed some differences in how it implemented the NPM package. So it's going to rebuild it and push it back up. This is why we test it. When we find issues like this, then we have to tell it to correct it. And so you guys are getting to see that. I hope you get value out of this because, like, again, a lot of the other channels are just scripted and they just don't show you this gory detail. But I think you need it because one of these nights you're going to be struggling doing the same thing and you'll remember what I did. And at least you'll get a clue to go ask AI to help you figure it out. Okay. Now I saw something here. Hold on a second. Okay, now I'm getting a different error. Okay, if you're catching up, if you're just reading this, it's basically it's saying that it needed to export the ESM modules, and it's done that now. So let's see if that improves it. Okay, it says try refreshing the page. Nope. It says now to it put some console logs in, and that was fast. I can tell you this: Claude Code is much faster now with Opus 4.5 than it used to be. Okay. All right. Just going to copy these in and see what we got. Copy console. Some of you might be wondering why I don't use Browser Use or like Puppeteer so they could go get its own console logs, because it's so darn slow and it eats up a lot of tokens. So I can copy paste faster than it can. That'll get better over time. Use ultra thinking to figure this out. Again, I want you to review how the widget was working through just a simple script call before we started all of this. And, you know, we should be replicating that in the NPM. That's all we should be doing. We should not be reinventing the wheel here. Okay, I got nothing when it returned. However, I'm going to try one thing. One other trick is I'm going to restart that server. And by the way, what is all this? Okay, these are older errors. Okay, I just restarted my test server just to make sure we're getting the latest code. Okay. Yeah, nothing new there. Okay, now nothing is loading. The widget doesn't load at all. again, I want you to stop guessing. I want you to go back and review how the widget used to work. In fact, what I want you to do is now revert the code back to the simple widget call via JavaScript, and let's make sure we understand how that works. Prove to me that you can at least make that work before we go any further. Okay. Yeah, this is what the code originally looked like. Nice and clean and simple. Okay. Yeah, that all looks correct. Okay. So let's just go back and see. Okay. All right. So that's the way it was supposed to work. Okay. And just let me confirm something real quick before I even go any further. I'm going to go in and break the JWT on purpose just to make sure that all that validation is still working. I just removed one letter from the secret key, and this is just a test site, guys, on my development server, so you can't hack me. Somebody's heart just skipped a beat because I showed a secret key live. But this is just testing, and I went and deleted one character here, and I just want to make sure that the authentication fails, which it should. Okay, good. All right. So adding that back in, everything's functioning now the way it should. Okay, so again, that's a security check there. Okay, I'm always thinking security. All right, so all of that works. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Now that widget works. Now I want you to evaluate how that widget works and make sure that we are just rolling that into the npm build. Okay, and that we are just then calling that npm install simply as we currently are for this JavaScript. Okay, so don't overcomplicate this. Sort it out with ultra thinking. Okay, it says it was overcomplicating it with ESM exports. Yeah, okay. Simply copy the working widget to the npm package source. Yes, please. Okay, now it's compacting the conversation. This takes a minute. Anybody still out there with me? Drop me a hello in the chat. Okay, there it goes. It just completed the compact. Now it's going to go ahead and do what we told it to do. Okay, so here it goes. Okay, so now it's making sure it's using that updated npm package. It removed the script call. Okay, and that's all it basically did. It still left the rest of the stuff in here. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure it's still fetching the JWT token. Okay. Okay. All right, and one other thing here. Let's see, fetch. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep, and we have an error again. That same old error we had before. Okay, we're going in circles here. You've seen this error before. I need you to stop and use ultra thinking and sort this out in the simplest way. In the simplest manner. Okay. Nope. Please stop guessing. Do some research if you need to. Read the code and sort this out. Now, I hope you understand that the project that we're working on, this little functionality of reading the npm and stuff, you guys will never probably do this in your code. You're going to make websites that do amazing things and write games and different things, but I doubt you're going to be building npm packages and distributing them that can be imported to your users. But you might, but this is a pretty advanced topic. So I hope you're learning something from it. I hope you're also not intimidated by this. If you don't understand like what npm is and all that, then ask AI to teach you, or take my secure vibe coding masterclass. QR code up here, link in the description. You can sign up for the free mentoring, but inside of there you'll find a lot of free resources, but you'll also find my secure vibe coding masterclass, and it goes into a lot of these details, and you can really get off to a good start. Okay, it needs to restart to pick up the package. Users should be able to test it now. Okay, well, let's see. It's doing this ESM thing again, so I don't know about that. Okay, so let's restart the server. Okay. All right. Okay. Progress. We got it all working here. Let's make sure again the security stuff's working. Go ahead and break it again. And you should see this break. Okay, it did. Okay, put that back in. I just remove a letter from the key so that it breaks the JWT token. That's a simple, like, poor man's test there. Look at that, guys. And let's see if our voting works. Yep. And if we vote multiple times, like we can only vote like 5 times in a minute. And what it's going to do is then lock out. So right there, it locked it. See, I'm getting like errors down here, success false, rate limit exceeded. So now if I go into the back end and take a look at this thing, I could see inside of here, or in the security board, excuse me, I see that I have rate limit exceeded tonight. Okay, so we get security alerts. I didn't show this before, but we have security dashboard here, and it's showing us the alerts, so that's cool. One other thing I want to do with this security dashboard, first of all, okay, hey, that works and it's great. So now what I want you to do is make sure that the other React module also is proper with all the lessons learned here. Fix that and make sure that you distribute that as well, and push both of these new packages up to the repository for public use. Okay, just verifying that how it called it. You can see here it called the web component. It imported it, first of all, dynamically. It set up some variables, and then it went ahead and showed it on the page. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're testing, or it's updating the React module, because some people want to install this inside React. We also can test this because we are also using React. That web component is more generic, by the way, so other people outside of React could use that. It's just it's a standard component within JavaScript. Okay. So we got over a huge hurdle there through troubleshooting, but Claude finally figured it out after I was pretty stern with it. And we were chasing our tail there for a bit. And you have to just tell it, hey, look, I notice we're going in circles here. I need you to stop guessing. Right, and use ultra thinking. That's like the highest level of thinking, and basically it burns a little bit more tokens, but it's worth it. If you had a lesser model, like if you were using one of these other GPTs or something, like, you might not have gotten out of that problem. You might have been like in a death spiral. That's why I love Claude Code. It's never kept me in a death spiral. Okay, so here it's running this install now on that React widget. And naturally it finds an error. These are all the things humans would do, and they would find these errors too, but it would be much slower to fix it, I guarantee you. First of all, you'd have to be a pretty seasoned developer to even be doing this NPM stuff. Like, this is not junior developer stuff, first of all. But because of AI and vibe coding, we don't have to be seasoned developers anymore. You just need to be persistent and, make it explain it to you if you have to. But you know if it's working or not. You get these errors and you copy paste errors in, you tell it to stop guessing, right? Scold it. Okay, it published the first one. Now it's going to publish the second one. I don't think it incremented. So you notice the code it got published was .01 for it's a new version. It should do the same. Okay, it's rebuilding it with a new number, 0.1. Okay, pre-publish only, and then it's going to publish it. Here's the republish right here. It's deleting the old build, and then it's going to rebuild it and republish it, I think. Okay, good. It's clean now. Bump the version and republish. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this one is up on version 2 now because it had to iterate a couple times. Okay, so the first one's on version 1, the other one's on version 2. We don't care. Okay, so all this should work now. Okay, now implement that React widget for us simply, and confirm that we know how to do that and that it's working. So what should happen is this file up here that I'm looking at should change right before our very eyes. This file right here should change. Instead of saying web component, it should say React, and it may put it somewhere else. But that file definitely should change. So here, what we're doing now is we're installing the React widget on the test site. Test site is just a folder within my project here. It's just a basic Next.js folder, but I keep it all in one project to keep it simple. I used to have it like in a JSON folder, but that causes like permission issues and stuff. It was a nightmare. So pro tip, put your test site within your main project. Just make it a folder called test site. Okay, so here's the new code. And up here, we can see the new code. It adds the React widget. It got rid of that other stuff. Okay, so here's the generate the token stuff again, and okay. All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, it's looking good. Refresh it. Come on now. Yes. Okay, voting's still working. Okay, sweet. Okay, so we've got now 2 new ways that our developers can deploy this. We're just dunking on our competitors, making it easier for our developers to deploy this, guys. All right, so super satisfied with that. Now look, that's great, it worked. Now I want you to check our embed instructions and make sure they are comprehensive and accurate now, given the new things that we've learned with installing both this web component as well as the React widget. Now what I'm talking about there is like we have these instructions right here inside of the feedback panel, inside of our project. We have these embed instructions. And so it's if we select NPM here, okay, so first of all, that's wrong, okay, because it's now says something different than just widget. So we should see this get updated, and we should also see this right here, the front end, get updated. Okay, so let's just watch that happen. I'm just going to leave that sit there. Okay, here's the React one right here. Yeah, all this should get updated. See what it's doing. Okay, here it's finally updating the what did it do here? The documentation. It looks like a README page. Yeah, I think this updated some kind of documentation page. Where's it at? I'm trying to get to the top of it. Doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, there was a README like in the widget. I don't care about that. I want you to update the embed instructions, which it's doing right now. So here we go, and they just, oh wow, it made it much better. It rewrote that whole thing. Hold on a second here. Embed. Okay, so it broke it out. Environmental variables, create the token endpoint. Okay, and then now we see the front end integration. If you're going to do React widget, this is the way it does it now. Yes, remember that's the name of our web component. Okay, you can install both of them, and you can then run it this way. I'm just sanity checking this. Yeah, that looks accurate. Here's your npm import if you just want to use npm. Okay. One thing I don't like, so hold on a second. So that's the NPM mode. Yeah, I'm not sure that's 100% accurate. It's missing the, it's not using. Oh, here it is right here. It's dynamically updating it. Then why do we have, okay, React widget. Okay, it's close. It's very close. What? What's it doing here? It's trying to publish again to, what do I want to do that for? Oh, it's trying to increment again. No. There's no need to republish unless we made a change to the NPM packages, and I don't think we did that. But on your instructions, it looks great, except for the React widget. Also says to import the web component. So remove that second import. Other than that, the instructions look great. So what I'm looking for here is this right here should go away. This web component piece should just disappear. I could go in and do it in the code, but I want to show you how to do that. There, see, gone, right before our very eyes. Okay, so this is vibe coding, guys. I'm satisfied now tonight that we are in good shape here on this thing. I just want to look here real quick. Front end integration with the script tag. Okay, so this is without basically using those other modules. You can do it with script. You can do it with the React, npm import, or script tag. Okay, we are in great shape. We are in great shape, guys. I am very satisfied with the progress that we made tonight. Very satisfied. Like that. That's huge, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shut this one down, and I'm going to take the next week off because I'll be out on a cruise. So we'll pick this up next Sunday, and we will start taking this thing to market. We're going to find out where the developers hang out, and we're going to start adding value and telling them about this project. I can use you guys' help on that as well. Until then, go up to User Vibes OS AI and check it out. Okay, I'm updating. I'm going to go ahead and update the instructions up there too. We can do it right here. I don't like this, why it keeps trying to publish. Okay, again, no need to push packages back up to npm publish, but I do want you to go ahead and commit this with a strong message and push to origin. Okay, it's kind of in this little loop that keeps trying to push to npm. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and push this up so you guys can play with it. And until then, you guys be blessed out there. Stay safe. And I will see you next Sunday. Not this Sunday in a couple of days, but like 8 days from now. Okay? And we'll pick it up and have another live stream Sunday night. Okay, appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you for spending this time with me. And give me some love with the algorithm. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe. Check out my free mentoring in the QR code and also in the link below. All right. Later, guys.